When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet, will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheek? Darling,
Yeah. Welcome in. Just a little extended intro for Joey's big loss this weekend. When his team doesn't work the way they're supposed to. That's what happens when the trifecta goes down and Kansas City loses by almost 30 points. So
yes, sir.
We have a special week. Obviously, I got my co-host Dill, but we have a first timer, a newcomer in the league, and co-commissioner Nick Titolo. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good. I'll give you the floor. Whatever you want to say.
Give me the floor. Yeah, no, it's good to be on here. Good to, I listen in every week, and, it's nice to be on the other side of the coin. And, I know that Big and I have talked about, our constant progression and, excited to look at kind of our upcoming matchups. And, I know the original reason last week we were trying to get together and talk about kind of our big win, where we actually, in all honesty, I think on that Saturday night, we were actually, I was looking back at the projections. We were projected to, have a really close game with Luke, and we thought we were going to be Luke's, first win of the season. So we got real nervous and ended up actually being the opposite. We actually had a really huge week, and kind of, close one this week, but, hoping to keep progressing forward. Had some injuries. So I'm looking forward to running through some of the rest of the matchups, but happy to be on.
Well, we're happy to have you, and it's going to be a great podcast. We're going to try to switch some things up tonight. We will kind of highlight the matchups from last week, but we're not going to spend as much time on that. We will go over some injuries and pickups, and we're also going to spend time going through each NFL matchup in Week 8, and some starts and sit situations. Dill, you got anything to say?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's awesome to have Nick on. He was one of the most highly anticipated guests, I'd say, just because one, he's new to the league, and two, obviously had a super, super big week the week before that we couldn't get together. I just wanted to ask Nick for just to get it on air with everybody. We kind of asked this for most of our co-managers, but we think that we said this during the preview pod, if you go back, that Nick and Big had one of the strongest teams on paper. And it's obviously performing well. I think they're in the top 5 right now. But in terms of overall draft strategy, and then they have made a couple moves. We've seen co-managers in this league not work out in the past. We've seen it work out okay, and it looks like you and Big are obviously the best ones so far. How did the thought process go when it came to drafting? Because obviously Big wasn't there. And then in terms of trading and who you start each week and stuff like that, because I personally have never co-managed, so this is all new to me, but I'm curious, and I think that people are curious as well, because obviously it's working, but just from behind the scenes, maybe you could enlighten us on how that went about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think it was talked about a few times, maybe when Big was on one of the past podcasts.
Yeah, he touched on it, but I wanted to hear from you as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So during the draft, obviously everyone's aware, we had some pretty good communication. We already kind of went in with a game plan of kind of who our, kind of top 3 or 4 would be, depending on kind of what happened before us. And then, as we were on, kind of a Zoom call that while we were there, so we can kind of look through, kind of one of us was screen sharing. So we kind of saw the draft board as we went, which was good. And kind of as we went through, we had kind of a couple picks in advance, had kind of who we were slating, and it was kind of back and forth and bouncing ideas off one another. I kind of let Big take the lead, since I've been a little bit out of the fantasy realm for a couple of years. So I kind of let him take the reins and kind of followed suit, and, kind of gave input where I saw it fit, and, kind of our mix kind of worked pretty well. He thought of people I didn't, I thought of people he didn't. And we were very happy with our draft. Kind of definitely went running back heavy in the forefront. I think, the one big kind of, I don't know. I mean, obviously with Julio being gone, obviously Ridley didn't have as big of a year impact, I feel like, as we maybe had hoped. But, now we no longer have him anyway. But Had a couple injuries as we've gone through the season. Also aside from the Mont injury, I know that Chubb now also, has been kind of back and forth. So a couple of injuries here and there. So a couple weeks out. Looking forward to getting Montgomery back soon. And I think just kind of another thing I want to touch on is kind of just like our week to week strategy. I think it's, I think we've done very good at kind of communicating with one another, whether it just be via text, who are some pickups that we have. Like for example, this week we picked up Raymond on the Lions. That was one of the ones that Big scoped out, and we kind of just pick each other's brains, see who we have, what's our priority, and every week we kind of try to put on the radar, is there any sort of trades out there, anything that we want to target on enhancing our team, where kind of our holes were from the previous week. And so far so good. We've had some tough losses, but I think everything's been working, for the most part. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that was good. For the trades, did you guys kind of both just say, hey, look, I think we want to go in this direction. Should we see what kind of offers we can get for players X, Y, and Z? Was it kind of as simple as that, or?
yeah, so within the trade kind of first originated, and we had some talks with a couple different teams about some different, potential opportunities. We actually had one where, it was actually to a point where it almost became an official, offer with Cass, with a trade with Zeke and a few others back and forth that kind of fell through the cracks at one point. And then kind of we just got talks with Luke, kind of had a group chat going, and kind of talked through it and saw what he wanted, what we wanted, where we needed to get some reinforcement, and then it kind of just worked out from there. We were kind of seeing, obviously with the Mont injury that kind of hit us hard, and then aside from Chubb, Sanders was hit or miss, unfortunately. I think he had the numbers when he was getting the touches, but for whatever reason, there's some games where Philly just wasn't handing the ball off. So we kind of looked at what our opportunities were, and obviously I think we're very happy with kind of the outcome of that trade. Taylor's been an absolute beast. I think, however, Lockett, unfortunately, I think with the Geno Smith at quarterback and the Russell Wilson injury, that hurt us. And actually a little too early to, a little sore still, but from last week, we only needed him to get 9 points to get that win. And, with Russell Wilson at quarterback probably would have been easy. And he had got, only 5 points, or this is, I think, the week prior, but he only got like 3 or 4 points. So, that kind of really screwed us. But yeah, all in all, I think once Wilson's back, I think that will definitely help Lockett, get back up into that higher caliber numbers. And obviously Taylor's just, producing week in and week out.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, we talked about it on the on my power rankings, and I think the week before too. I think you guys definitely made out good with a Taylor trade. He actually started off a little bit slow, so I think you kind of bought him at a good price. Ever since you guys picked him up, he started been heating up. So the Colts themselves have been, playing better. They started off 0-3, 0-4.
Yeah, they were.
Started stringing together. So I think they're running the offense through Taylor, and obviously it's really good for you guys. Sal, unless there's anything else you got for Nick, I think we could probably get started with what you wanted to start with.
Yeah, I think we're just going to quickly recap the games. We have Nick here, so we can let him talk about his game at least. He was obviously he kind of already touched on it. You said, Lockett didn't get the job done. It came down to two players. It was Lockett and who was Jonathan Taylor. But Jonathan Taylor did his job.
Yeah.
He got his 18 points.
Yeah, so Taylor was a Sunday night. More.
Yeah, and then went into Lockett on Monday night, and I don't think, obviously, it's not all Lockett personally. He's got a tough situation with Geno Smith in the offense.
Absolutely.
It sucks. I mean, you probably have to just try to pocket Lockett. I know that sounds pretty good, but maybe put him aside until Wilson gets back. Or if you have him in a flex, he's still in there. But
yeah,
it kind of sucks. Maybe you could trade him now and get something for him. I know it's going to be low, but
yeah,
it's kind of hard to have to rely on him. But hopefully maybe the rest of the squad can just pick it up in the meantime.
Yeah, I guess the only other additional thing, if there's anything to add to it, obviously Chubb kind of was, a nice blow or a shitty blow that we had.
Oh, yes.
Week
Forgot about Chubb.
Was Chubb being out. And then, we actually contemplated at one point starting Bateman, and then held off and kept Waddle and Davis in. And I don't know, Davis, I think at one point hit a touchdown early on, which was like, he had one reception for like 3 yards and a touchdown. And then, picked up a couple extra. So he actually did decently well. And Hubbard, I guess, was another one that he kind of underperformed a little bit, but also Tua, who was our fill-in for Allen being out, played great. And then Odell just continues to kind of be kind of shaky week to week. So,
Tua
definitely
came up
had
big.
some other flaws, but yeah, what's
Tua
up?
was probably the pickup of the week, the stream of the week.
Yeah.
He had his best game by far. And I mean, he did screw up the game in the end in the real game, but he had 4 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
A nice fill in there. Maybe Allen can start hitting his ceiling too. And I mean, he's getting up there. He had 2 good games before the bye, so keep you in the 40-point range. That'll help.
Yeah.
I guess just consider Bateman and I mean Mooney's kind of the same scenario as Lockett. The way the offense is going right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of two good guys upside that are just getting screwed. You might be able to fill in Bateman. I mean, you get Chubb back, like you said, so you might be able to just play all 3 running backs.
Yeah.
Waddle and Corey Davis have been good.
Yeah.
But then there's the Odell situation too. So you got to take a chance on someone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Waddle.
Okay.
Honestly, Waddle's been getting, consistent touches and consistent targets, and he's had some, pretty big weeks. So I think he's, definitely from what we expected.
10.5 targets. Yeah, last 2 games. That's pretty good.
So,
Corey Davis too has been solid. For
Yeah.
that team, for a shitty team.
Yeah, that's the big thing is the whole. I think Dill alluded to on one of the other podcasts. Sort of Jets curse there.
One of the things I talked to Big about, which you guys ended up making a trade anyway, but I was thinking about maybe trading away like Montgomery, to get value now. It's still a thing that could happen considering he's probably not back for a little while.
Yeah, we actually, I don't know. I guess I'll reiterate it on here. I know Big said in the chat the other day, but we actually were considering that, fielding some offers if anyone has interest. So
I might actually be interested myself. I think that's a chess piece you can move around. I think what people forget, and something I had to learn the hard way, is like we're playing to win. Obviously, so we have 12 people, so 11 of us are guaranteed to lose. So I know holding on to guys isn't always ideal if it's not even going to put you number 1 in playoff contention.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys are still good. I think both of us are 4-3, so we're hanging in there. But you don't want to like hold on for too long. You don't have to rely on Beckham and Lockett putting up these kind of games for too long.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you guys will be fine. I think Luke's team is was he on a 4-win streak now? He's popping off, man. He's finding ways to win and plug in, and he's going to be a contender for sure. I don't want to spend too much time on each team because we pretty much touch on it literally twice a week between Dylan's power rankings. But let's see if there's any other matchups we want to just address real quick. Obviously, Don was a huge win. We don't really have to go through the win, but Don's team is definitely something to be afraid of. I think he's pulling it together.
Yeah, we got him this week.
He's won 3 of the last 4, and I think he's going to be doing that again, if not 4 of the next 4. So, you got Don. That's big.
Yeah, we got a big week. Yeah.
Dill pulled off obviously a huge win. He beat the 2-time champion and undefeated. I'm a dog team. Basically, Chiefs just weren't it, and Mahomes went down with a concussion. I'm pretty sure he's playing. Did he pass the concussion protocol?
He's playing against the Giants.
And then he bounces back against the Giants. I think I'm playing Joey too, so we'll see how that works out for me. Dale, how do you feel your situation? I know you always have to talk about everyone else and stuff. But maybe you get a chance to address where you're at.
I would. I mean, my position is pretty good. That was pretty much a must-win for me. I'm basically 1 win away from all of you guys in the standings, and I have more points than a lot of you guys. So 1 week, as long as you keep the standings close, 1 week, could push someone a couple, 3, 4 spots. As far as this week goes, my receivers, this is kind of like why I made my trades, because this is ideally what I wanted to see out of my receivers. Just the 3-headed monster with McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, and Devonta Adams is just beastly. And big time Zach Ertz pickup too for the Cardinals. I think he's going to be solid for them. Honestly, running backs didn't even really show up that great. Mixon ended up scoring, but nothing much. And then obviously Darrell Williams only went as far as the Chiefs went, but it kind of counteracted because Joey's team didn't do good either. Stafford's a beast, always has been, and yeah, I just moving forward, I would love to have Devontae Adams. Sadly, he's on COVID this week.
Yeah, that's a bummer when you just hit you just kind of turned the
Yeah,
corner.
I'm finally getting my stride. Yeah, I think Tooch and Danny definitely lucked out
It really does suck, man.
with that. But I will have to adjust. I still have some good guys I could throw in. Maybe I'll throw Myles Gaskin in, and he'll actually do good for one time that I started him. He'll probably end up getting 3 again, but he put up good numbers on my bench, so that was nice. I think I had the depth to compete. Michael Thomas is either coming back this week or next week too, so that's a little bit more firepower I'll have too, maybe as a flex, because everyone knows he could be a beast. And I picked up Valdez Scantling, so I think he could be a good pickup if he plays, because the Packers literally have nobody besides him and Randall Cobb, so he's definitely like the big guy, deep threat. And I mean, them versus the Cardinals, I could see that being a big time shootout. So we'll see. I'm still optimistic moving forward. I think like full strength that my team could compete with anybody. And yeah, obviously a rough week for Joey, though. We said it all season that his team only goes as far as the Chiefs go. If you look at it, the Chiefs kind of shit the bed, and he didn't really have anyone else to pick him up besides probably his pickup of the week. Aside from Nick's Tua, Dearness Johnson was a fucking monster pickup by Joey. Definitely really good by him. That's a pickup play that we don't really see someone like him making. He doesn't really dabble with the wire too much, but normally whoever he picks or trades for ends up going off, and he did. The rest of his team let him down. But Joey's still a top team moving forward as long as the Chiefs don't do what they did again.
So we don't think there's a chance that Joey could just hit a decline here after a huge
Oh,
6-0 start?
I mean, the Chiefs got to bounce back, especially against the Giants. I think that was kind of an anomaly. They haven't been playing well, and Mahomes hasn't been playing well, but still, I don't know if we see 105 from him again.
But does the rest of his team hold up, even if the Chiefs obviously bounce back, which is probably likely?
I think Patterson's solid. And Henderson's solid. Patterson and Henderson are super solid.
Yeah. Obviously, Dearness will get bumped out once.
Yeah, Chubb's coming back this week or next week too, so he's.
I think he'll be okay with Chubb, but once obviously the two-headed monster is there again, he'll probably get faded out. But he might be able to get some production.
Yeah.
Ayuk hasn't even done anything. I think he's just drop worthy, a little bench worthy at this point.
Yeah, better off starting Van Jefferson. You want a part of that Rams offense.
Yeah. Or Michael Carr has been solid. It's crazy. Yeah, no, Joey should. We all know Joey. If we even want to doubt him, it's just going to get worse. So I probably shouldn't even say it. I guess real quick before we continue, I do want to touch on our commissioners team and Cass's team. They're obviously on the hard trend down. Do we think? And Luke's team. I'm sorry, Luke Lakes, who got the win against the commissioner.
Big win.
Do we think, basically, out of these three teams, who do we think can actually maybe bounce back, or are they all just pretty much done for? What do we think?
I don't know. It's close. Nick and I were talking before you got on, kind of going through some of these teams. Yeah, I don't think
go through the teams and stuff.
Cass hasn't really broken.
Start with Cass's team.
100 in a couple weeks now. So obviously the couple scrappy wins he pulled off in the beginning of the season were really huge for him, or else he'd probably be winless at this point. But he named his team Free Win. Hopefully he doesn't turn into one of those teams that literally gives out free wins. But his points for is significantly the least in the league. Like, it's actually not even close. And if you look at Luke Liguori, he actually has more points than if you go to the league. He actually
Luke's 2 games out of contention, maybe 3.
If you look at Luke Liguori, he has 912 points. He has more points than Big and Nick Titolo, and he has 4 less points than Luca Duccio.
2 more points than me.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at his points against, he's really gotten the shit out of the stick. He has the most points against by far.
We can't leave Chris out of this conversation. Obviously they're
anyone in the bottom to make a run, it's Chris. He has the best team.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, maybe not playoffs, but who could
So I think he has the best team. But I think no, I'm not gonna say it because then people get upset. So fuck it.
I don't know. Do you mean a team down in
No,
there.
I just don't think I don't think he's personally the best manager to get out of the bottom. But I don't even want to say who I think it is because then people just get upset. So it is what it is. But I think if Chris can even meet in the middle there, his team will obviously well know. He just has to. He also has to string some luck together. There wasn't even a knock on Chris. I just thought one of these four can get themselves out of the hole.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris has the best team, so it would be him. But
I might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be ambitious and go with a dark horse. And, I don't know. Lukey put up a big week. I mean, we'll see if he can bounce back this week too and hold up a similar performance. But, he might be able to make a little run here. I don't know.
He made a lot of trades and it looked like he didn't know what he was doing. But this week, they all finally panned out.
They
all
finally
the guys
hit,
that he acquired kind of hit.
Yeah. So
And I don't know if he can make the playoffs or anything like that,
Yeah.
but he's one of those guys that maybe he could upset a Joey or a Junior one week. You know what I mean? Maybe that win won't mean anything, but he could upset someone else's chances. I think he's one of those guys that you don't want
to be a spoiler for the
yes, that's exactly. He could definitely be a spoiler. He could definitely
his
ruin
team's deeper than
week.
people think. That's all these trades. He's ended up with probably deepest.
No,
team.
I traded him Michael Pittman. He's a beast. I traded him Swift. He's a beast. You traded him
Look
AB.
I mean, Cole Beasley, AJ Green should be a
that
starter.
was a big one that
flex.
Big and I were just talking about that one yesterday that we kind of regret, with our receiver depth at this point. We kind of regret.
We all gave him. All three of us gave him a lot to get what we got, and
yeah,
it's what we needed to do. But Antonio Brown doesn't seem like he's going to play. So I guess we'll transition right into the injury reports. Dill, do you have the injury report, or do you want me to do that? I'm going to start with Antonio Brown, but
nah, I haven't really been looking. I kind of just know my guys, but he has the depth now to replace it, which is good. That was something he was struggling with, and Jerry Jeudy came back, so
so Jerry Jeudy's supposed to be coming off the IR. I know doesn't Yahoo takes forever sometimes to get the official word. Aaron Rodgers is away in Arizona tomorrow. Obviously without his top two receivers, which you have the best of them, who has COVID. What do we think for Aaron Rodgers tomorrow? I mean, in your case, it's good because you ended up with Stafford, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers might not have a good game tomorrow. I have to lean on Tanyan and Aaron Jones, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he's one of those quarterbacks that'll probably put up some numbers regardless, but it's not going to be the 30 points that he does with Adams. Even he's honestly had a quieter year. But yeah, he's going to need some production.
Deontay looks healthy now.
Deontay's a beast. Deontay Johnson's really good.
So Deontay's healthy, ready to go, although AB's not, so he could fill that in. And then on the buys, we have the Raiders and the Ravens. So it's only two buys, but those are kind of two pretty significant fantasy teams this year, though. So I'm sure they'll hurt a couple people.
Yeah, Luke's team is good. It's definitely.
I like Luke's team right now, even with AB out this week. I kind of look at I like the way it looks.
Pittman is a monster. I traded him to him. Yeah. Everybody kind of wanted to sleep on Pittman. Pittman's really good.
Swift is an absolute monster right now. He's one of the best running backs this year. So as far as fantasy
Swift's
goes,
really good too. I'm definitely missing him.
I think Luke's going to trend up, man. I think Luke can do it. 3 games and he's in the talk for sure. It's crazy. It works like that every year. What do we think about the Commissioners team before we move on here?
Yeah, it's getting late early for the commish.
You think he's be competing for the losers punishment, or what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. The bottom, it's still early to say with the punishment, but I think playoff contention is looking further and further away from him because his points for aren't too high, and that's 3 losses in a row. It's the biggest loss streak in the league right now, aside from Cast. Obviously, they're tied. But he suffered from a lot of bye weeks this week, which definitely was rough. I know he has the Kareem Hunt injury too.
Yeah.
But he has some point producers on his team. Obviously lost Kittle too. So yeah, that's 2 of his first early picks. He gets Austin Eckler back this week, which is good. Stephon Diggs honestly had a decent week, but he hasn't been doing kind of the number 2 overall receiver drafted Stephon Diggs. He's kind of taking a backseat a little bit. I don't even think he's in the top 10 this year. Guys like Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, guys like that are kind of overtaking him. So it's kind of a hit. I don't think he has the worst team in the league, but I think Luke Liguori has more firepower.
Yeah, well, now he does. It's starting to come together. Do you know that The Miami Dolphins signed Duke Johnson to their practice squad. I'm not sure, how much merit that has going forward, but that was interesting as well.
Yeah, he'll just take carries away from Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, Malcolm Brown is out though. He's been placed on injured reserve, so ideally that should help Gaskin. Maybe Savannah Model get some more touches. But
yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah, if he's on your bench,
Yeah, don't hold your breath when Myles Gaskin is.
Nick Chubb is expected to play. Obviously, that's big for Nick T and Big's team. That means I'm sure Dernis Johnson will get some touches. I think he'll just become the complimentary back to hit Chubb. He looked good, by the way, Dernis Johnson.
Real good. I think he'll be like kind of like the Kareem Hunt for now. Yeah. Maybe not as
ran
much.
Hard. He created
but yeah, he earned touches moving forward. He definitely did earn it.
Chris Evans is out, even though he was really relevant. So obviously, Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon just seem to be the 1-2.
Joe Mixon against the Jets this week. He's got to light it up for me.
They both got probably.
Yeah, I might be able to start them both.
So Jacobs got hurt, but they're on a bye, so nothing to worry about. Probably a good timing for him. So hopefully he'll be back next week. Saquon Barkley does have a chance to return to practice tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't believe in that. I wouldn't count. I wouldn't rely on that. Even if he does come back, it's probably just a matter of time before he gets hurt again. Miles Sanders, obviously, also with the ankle injury, says 2 to 3 weeks though. So Boston Scott was a big pickup from Cass. Obviously, I think Gainwell is probably the number one guy. But that kind of sucks for you. Not that he really hasn't got going though. Anyway, wow, the most of his injury report is you two. That's fucking great.
Yep, very nice.
That's awesome. Obviously, AB we just talked about. He didn't practice today either, so he's doubtful. So once they have the big D next to their name, the big D always gets them. So usually that means they're not going to play. Doubtful is a tough one to come back from, especially on the Thursday or going into Thursday. Any other notable injuries? I think Hopkins was banged up. He's expected to play tomorrow. I can't think of any more at the top of my head. Chris Carson's still on the IR. What else you guys got?
I think you covered the main ones.
Chris McCaffrey's still out for a little longer, I guess. I don't know what's going on with that, man. I think what happened, though, I think he re-aggravated his hamstring in practice. They tried to they activated him, and they put him back on IR. So he must have tweaked it again. Those hamstring injuries, man, those are terrible. Dak should be able to play. It's not official yet, but I'm assuming he's going to play for me. Obviously, that's a big injury thing to look at across the league. Gibson's been put on the questionable every week. He just has not been 100%. Let's see. Do we have anything else? I think that's pretty much the most of them. The Jarvis Landry, I think he's okay. He got banged up again, right? I know, though. They're both probably going to be out there. That team's going to run the ball, man. They just want to run the ball all day. What do you guys think about tomorrow's matchup? We finally get a good Thursday night showdown.
You're just saying about the game in general?
Yeah.
I think you got to lean Cardinals, right? They're undefeated. Packers are banged up. Honestly, haven't looked that great. They've looked okay, but I think you got to roll with the Cardinals until choose not to. I mean, Kyler Murray's got to be MVP frontrunner right now, if not top two. Just by a betting standpoint, I'd probably take the Cardinals, but I'll definitely have my eyes on it for a fantasy perspective. I'm going against Kyler Murray. I got a couple Packers in some leagues, and guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would agree as well. I think that the Cardinals showed that they're the real deal, and obviously with the banged up Packers, I think that all signs point to the Cardinals, but we shall see. Hopefully it'll be a good game.
So for start sits on that game, I'm probably going to have to say you got to start Aaron Jones, especially with the receivers out. They're going to have to force the ball. It's not a good matchup for him, but they're going to have to force the ball to him, I think.
Dude, if you have Aaron Jones, you start him no matter what, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're playing. I don't care if you're playing against King Kong. You don't bench Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
No, and he hasn't been great, but I think he's going to get more volume this
Yeah,
week.
maybe Tanyan.
Onion, you
Might be
have to look at this week. Yeah, I feel like you really have to. Do you start a Randall Cobb?
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you do. I think
I
you
think
do.
Don is starting him against us this week.
I think you
I
do
think
start
I
him.
think it's a good start.
I think it's a good start
He's
too.
good.
He's
Don't rely on him. You trust him, so he just needs the targets.
yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. You want a recipient of the football. He's going to move the ball around. I think probably a couple receivers on the team will probably have like 4 or 5 catches. It's not going to be one of those where Devontae Adams gets 12 and everyone else gets 2 because he actually has to move the ball around. Probably dump off to Aaron Jones. You're seeing AJ Dillon get more into the offense a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the Packers offense will still move, but not at the rate that it needs to win without Adams, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. And then on the flip side, you got to start Chase Edmonds and James Conner, I would assume, even though they're kind of like a 1-2 punch there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of mouths to feed in Arizona. You got AJ Green, Rondo Moore, Christian Kirk, now Zach Ertz, and obviously Diops. Any of those guys you're willing to start beyond Diops? Obviously, we know Diops is a guaranteed start. So
Kirk,
Zach
dude.
Ertz, AJ Green.
I'm
I like
starting
Kirk.
Zach
I
Ertz.
dropped more today. I personally dropped them. I just don't like dealing on these guys. You just don't know anymore.
I think Zach Ertz definite
I like
start.
the Zach Ertz. I do.
Max
I
Williams
agree.
is out for the season. Zach Ertz just came. He already had 66 yards and a touchdown, 5 targets. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm starting Zach Ertz till proven otherwise.
I'd consider starting AJ Green in my flex. I know Luke's the one who has him, but
Yeah, Kyler moves the ball
He's
around. He doesn't
showing it.
really focus on one guy. They all kind of get looks,
it's tough.
honestly. They run the ball too. Like they move the ball around with that team. They really do. Like it's not like it's only Hopkins or it's only Moore, it's only Kirk. It's normally everybody kind of eats. But it's a good offense to have a share in fantasy. Normally both running backs
could be a
put up some numbers,
shootout.
too.
The game itself could be a shootout, but
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Then we got let's see. Seattle and Jacksonville, not an exciting fantasy matchup. Obviously, I'm starting James Robinson. That's a clear-cut starter. What do you guys think about the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, if you're really hurting that quarterback? Think he's on the up, or he's just pretty much a no-go this year?
I don't know. I don't know if you play him. I think someone like Tua that
We do have a
Nick
few
picked up is the
teams
better
in
option.
quarterback.
I think someone
Yeah.
like Nick. But I guess highlights in that game. I wouldn't. Both quarterbacks in that game are kind of lame.
Yeah.
I'd probably bet the under in that game, to be honest, because I don't see Geno Smith moving the ball a lot. But I don't know. Maybe let's see what Nick thinks. I know he's got some stock in Tyler Lockett. Is Tyler Lockett still a start this week, Nick?
I don't know. It's so torn about that. I mean,
You have
it's
the depth
almost
to replace him.
I know, and that's the thing is like some of the other receivers are performing as more wide receiver 1 and 2s compared to Lockett right now. But there's always that
Yeah, he's such a big name. He's such a big name that could break out for 150 yards in a game.
Yeah, and regarding the whole Trevor Lawrence thing, I think as far as our league goes, I mean, I don't think it's needed, but I know in some of the other leagues, like I think one of the others we're playing with like a super flex or 2 quarterback leagues. Those might be leagues where I think 1 week I had to play in my super flex, Trevor Lawrence, and he put up enough numbers to keep hold down. So but I think as far as this league goes, I don't think anybody really needs to go to the Trevor Lawrence route.
No, but there are bye weeks coming up, and some people are gonna have to get streamed at quarterback.
Yeah.
We'll see how he plays out next couple of weeks. They're starting to find some connections there.
Yeah,
DK Metcalf, obviously. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was at one pickup that we had last week, and I think it was more so it was one that I just watching the game I just saw and I got excited to kind of see how he'll trend. Is we picked up Agnew.
Yeah,
to see how he kind of trends going forward for the Jags.
That's a great pickup.
We'll see if you.
Yeah, I mean, without DJ Chark there, someone's gonna.
He's been catching a lot of balls, Agnew.
Yeah, he just got to break out, kind of get a touchdown. He's kind of been doing more than just catching, though, right? Isn't he kind of like almost like a Cordell Patterson right now?
Yeah, kind of like a Cordell Patterson.
mean, DK Metcalf, you have to start.
Absolutely.
His big play potential is obvious. And then I think Alex Collins, that situation is weird, but I would start him. I think he's still going to be RB1 for now. He's got some upside. That's pretty much it from that matchup. Pretty boring matchup. You have the Bengals and Jets, which is, obviously it's like totally two-sided. You have a great fantasy and a great NFL team versus a complete shit team and a shit fantasy team. Start sits. I mean, I think Jamar Chase obviously is a guaranteed. Burrow looks awesome. I think he's a guaranteed start unless you have like literally maybe one of the top 3 quarterbacks other than Burrow. Maybe, but I don't think anyone's in that situation. What about Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins? Sits against the Jets. I mean, isn't anyone a start against the Jets?
Only so many balls to go around, though. Only so many balls.
I think T. Higgins possibly. I don't like the Boyd option.
I can see them going ahead early and then kind of just, I don't know, maybe
taking Uzomah. We can't forget about Uzomah. He went off last week.
Yeah, he's had some big weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they move the ball around. I think if you want like consistency, the safest guys obviously Chase, Joe Mixon. Those are 2 guys that are getting the ball all the time. You know that. The rest is kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes Boyd catches a long one. Sometimes Higgins catches a few. Sometimes Uzomah takes it to the house. But I mean, Chase is the guy to have in that offense, and you have him, which is awesome.
Well, Burrow's been great though, honestly.
Burrow looks fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They're honestly a couple missed field goals away from the Packers from being, what are they?
Yeah, 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, what are they? 5-2, 4-2?
Oh yeah, 5-2. So they could have been 7-0. Really?
Yeah, they were really could have lost. Maybe one less game or 2. So, Bengals are a good team. I'm in on the Bengals this year. They're like kind of the dark horse in that division. Everyone always kind of slept on them. It was always like Browns, Ravens, Steelers. Bengals could easily win that division this year. They very well might. Obviously, I think the Bengals probably cover whatever the spread is versus the Jets. The Jets are also starting Mike White at quarterback. If anyone could tell me who that is. So, I guess we'll see what happens.
What do you think about Samaje and Mixon? Obviously, can't start full, but you obviously just stick with Mixon. He should be getting the target share back up, right, as he gets healthier.
Yeah, dude.
They're playing the Jets, so I do not. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Where I drafted Mixon, I'm starting him every week, regardless.
I think at this point, other teams could start P. Ryan this week.
Yeah, well, I have him, so I'm not dropping
him. You got Eagles and Lions, another terrible matchup. Miles Sanders is out. Do you start Boston Scott or Gainwell?
I don't even know, dude. They don't run the ball anyways. Even when they had the talent of Miles Sanders, they gave him like 6 carries a game.
Yeah, unless they're punching in, you're probably not getting anything.
I think you kind of stay away from that game unless you got like Swift or Hawkinson or something. For the Eagles, I guess you could stream Hurts as a flyer QB. He's not terrible, but I'm kind of staying away from that game. I'm probably not even going to watch that game. That's just going to be hideous to watch.
Well, I mean, Jalen Hurts seems to be a start every week, even though he completely sucks.
He's like he's a streamable QB. Yeah, he
gets all the garbage points, man.
He's the king of garbage time.
Literally, he's a terrible quarterback. Golf is definitely not a start. Swift, absolutely. Jamal Williams, I don't think I would start him. And then the whole receiving core, obviously Hawkinson you start, but Raymond seems to be the only guy really getting fed on the receiving core. It just is such a bad receiving core right now.
Yeah, we actually picked up Raymond. Big and I picked up Raymond.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good.
And that's another one where we actually just were texting right before, like earlier today, whether we're
getting the targets versus the other guys.
Yeah.
I could see him starting against the Eagles. I definitely could see him as a start. So definitely something to consider. Titans and Colts. This is a very good match, I think, actually. Just that division rivalry as well. So it's gonna be a good matchup. Henry's absolute monster. So obviously that's no question. Tannehill, I still can't start him. So I don't think Sal's going to do that. AJ Brown looks like he's getting his targets back, so he should be fine. I don't even think Julio's going to play. If he does, I'd be hesitant to start him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's
there's no tight end to start there, so yeah, you're not going to start Fursker in our league, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then you have the Colts. Wentz looks pretty solid lately. He's streamable.
Yeah, he had a few backups.
Pittman, obviously we talked about already. Pittman's been outstanding. Taylor, Pittman are guarantees. Anyone else beyond them? Hines, any guys like that? any guys in the receiving core you'd maybe stream there. And that's pretty much that pretty much sums up the Colts this year. I think it's Taylor and Pittman.
Yeah.
That's about
I
it.
don't think he's going beyond it. Yeah. Rams and Texans. Weird matchup again. Rams totally opposite side. There's a lot of like blowout matchups coming up this week. It looks like, which is probably possibly. It's like good for fantasy. Or like the good teams are going to do good, and then you have the garbage time late in the game. So maybe there's just a lot of fantasy points coming this week. We'll see. But Rams, you obviously start Henderson. Stafford has been amazing. We talked about that with Dill's team, so that's a guaranteed start. Cup, absolute guaranteed start. Woods is a guaranteed start. Higbee, I could see him starting against this team. I don't know if I personally will, having Schultz and Higbee, but this could be a good matchup for Higbee if you have him in, I guess, other leagues. Texans, do you start anybody on the Texans right now other than maybe Brandon Cooks? I don't even like Brandon Cooks right now.
Yeah.
If there's anyone, it's Brandon Cooks, but still, you proceed with caution there.
I picked up David Johnson since he's starting to get some carries. That's a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know. He's getting carries when they're down 30-0, so it's not like
it's crazy.
He's game scripted out before it even starts.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from that team. I'm starting whoever play against him though.
Yeah.
I have Matt Stafford, so hopefully he gets the ball a lot. I can't see the Texans hold on to the ball. Maybe he lights them up, gets me some points. That'll be nice.
Yeah, if your players are playing the Jets, Lions, and Texans, start them. At least have to consider the start.
Yep.
Steelers, Browns, great fantasy matchup, great rivalry.
Fun game, always fun game.
Fun game. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. And probably the 1 o'clock highlight if you're watching 1 o'clock this week. So
it's a gritty game.
Roethlisberger, not a start this year. Neither is Keenum, so we don't have to worry about the quarterbacks. Running backs, obviously Chubb's in, he's in. I don't think you start Ernest, although you could if you really
running backs for both teams are starts.
Yeah,
Najee's an always start. Deontay Johnson's an always start.
Yeah.
Receivers on the Browns, I think you proceed with caution as well. Kind of hard to monitor, especially with the QB issue. Odell and Jarvis are two kind of, I don't know, proceed with caution, like I said, type guys. I'm not in on them. I think the Browns run the ball. It's what they do best. And
they're going to run it hard.
Like when they have a healthy Nick Chubb and Hunt, I'd be more confident starting Nick Chubb and Hunt than one of the receivers, to be honest. I'd rather go dual running back, honestly, because that's got one of the best offensive lines in the league. I mean, De'Aaron Johnson ran well, but if you watch the game, like he had so many holes. Like that offensive line is really good. I was playing
they're doing a good job.
Playing Madden the other day. They all got like 85, 90 overall linemen. I was looking, but yeah, they built their line for a reason. The Browns play good defense. I kind of like the under in that game. I think with both quarterbacks, kind of like
the running game.
Yeah, it's going to be run heavy and a lot of defense, but that doesn't mean fantasy points can't be scored between the end zones. I think Deontay Johnson's like a good PPR guy, so shout out Luke Liguori for that acquisition. And the two running backs, like we said. So yeah, if Chubb plays, obviously, I'm assuming Nick's going to start him. He knows that.
Oh yeah.
Boy, do they feed Najee though, huh? Jesus.
Yeah, and Ben can't throw deep. Ben can't throw deep anymore, so he dumps it off to Najee all the time.
Yeah.
You might see 100 attempts in both teams this week between both teams. It's crazy. If you include at least the throws, the short throws. Niners and Bears, not a fun fantasy matchup. The Bears are just honestly the Bears offense. I wouldn't start anybody right now. It's that bad right now.
I got the Niners defense. I got the Niners defense this week. I think that's a good play.
That's a good play. I wouldn't even start Allen Robinson anymore.
Considering Justin Fields couldn't even cross half field. He
actually got me -8 points in my dynasty league.
Yeah, let alone scoring a touchdown. I'm just concerned about them getting first downs at this point. Without David Montgomery, the team has legitimately lost. Obviously, Cass, a recipient of the Allen Robinson syndrome, who is on a just good player in a shitty system. And yeah, I think for the Niners' sake, Mitchell looked okay, not bad. I think Sermon and Jeff Wilson might be coming back into the. That was always one of those running back committees that I was kind of hesitant about, but I think Mitchell has looked the best thus far. And
Sermon's healthy. They didn't play him. They gave him no snaps.
Yeah, he was healthy scratch. And then Debo Samuel, of course, for Junior. We've seen all season he's a fucking monster. Yeah. So.
And Ayuk did the same as what he's been doing, which is nothing. So.
Yeah, and then obviously
Um,
I don't touch either quarterback in that league. I don't think you even stream Jimmy G at this point.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
there's a
what is that
chance that
quarterback?
Trey Lance is playing. If not this week, maybe next week.
I still wouldn't play him.
Or he goes in like halfway through this game. So
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
say play
play him.
Nick Foles, man. I like to see Nick Foles versus Trey Lance than Garoppolo versus Fields right now. Those teams are just kind of both lacking identity right now, honestly, in the offenses alone. So, and with Kittle out and with Montgomery, those are their staples. So it's tough for both teams right now. Panthers and Falcons. Falcons are on a little bit of a trend. Matt Ryan is doing better. He's possibly streamable if you have coming by weeks. I think someone have picked him up over Tannehill anyway, which might be good for him.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson, are we still plugging him in? Is he? He's proven that he's pretty much a go-to every week.
Oh, he's a start every week for sure. Joey's starting him.
Mike Davis out. He's
Oh,
just seems like he's just not a part of the script. So it seems
No.
like Patterson's just taking over. Pitts looks great. He's catching on
Yeah.
as a rookie.
Kyle
So
Pitts
that's an
beast.
automatic start. Ridley, obviously, Ridley has so much more upside to show, and I think you'll see it in the tail end of the season. Hopefully, right? Gage looked better. I think it's a questionable start depending on your situation, but he looks good. Zexatius, I wouldn't touch anyone beyond that. So, Panthers, Hubbard's still the go-to there. You
Yeah.
got McCaffrey out, so obviously that's good for Nick.
They're not starting
And,
Sam Darnold anymore.
And
Yeah.
Darnold's not starting. That's the big news.
Who are they starting? PJ Walker?
I forget his name.
Or do they have someone else before him?
Well, I do know Flacco's going to the Jets, by the way, guys. I think he might be starting this week. So I kind of missed that earlier. The Panthers, I can't even think of who the quarterback is. Yeah, so I know it's not Darnold. I don't think whoever it is, you're going to start. Wow, I guess the big thing is how's it affect?
Yeah, I think they're going to start PJ Walker.
Yeah, Walker.
PJ Walker actually is
more,
good.
Though.
Yeah.
He played well.
Is he the XFL guy?
Yeah.
You still start Moore. Moore's been amazing this season.
You play DJ Moore. I think you played Hubbard just because the volume.
Yeah, that's basically it for now.
Other than that, I mean, I have Robbie Anderson. I haven't played him. Yeah. I haven't played him. He's a Hail Mary. And other than that, I mean, I couldn't even really tell you any of the other offensive weapons on that team.
You're not starting anyone else right now.
No,
unless you're that really.
No, that's not that big of a fantasy game on that side.
Yeah, so Dolphins Bills is the last 1:00 game. There's a lot of like 1 and 6s going against 5 and 1s or 4 and 2s or whatever the situation.
That's a beat down. That's a Josh Allen start all day. That's a Dawson Knox if healthy start, but I don't think he is. That's a Stephon Diggs start.
Diggs gets in the end zone this week. Mark my words.
Singletary and Moss are kind of like with that team just because
back and forth, man.
Yeah, and they throw so much. It's like you can't really rely on a running back just because Josh Allen. And honestly, when they're in the red zone, they run the ball with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So
Singletary might be the guy now. After thinking it was going to be Zach Moss, I think you go Singletary.
I don't think they have a guy at running back. There's never going to be
there's
never going to be a bell cow that gets 25 carries. Like no way. That they don't run the kind of offense. They get in the red zone, they run the ball with Josh Allen.
They would throw away every down if they really wanted to. Honestly, or he would run. Yeah.
You saw it. We saw it versus the Titans. It was 4th and 1. What they do? They ran it with Josh Allen. He got stuffed. They didn't get it, but I think for the Dolphins, Gaskin proceed with lots of caution. Jalen Waddle's a start. Mike Gesicki's a start, and Tua Tagovailoa might be a start.
Yeah, I think it is a start. I mean, obviously, you have who's your other quarterback? Oh, you have Josh Allen. You have both quarterbacks in this match.
Yeah, we have both quarterbacks.
Yeah, you do.
Have you made that decision, or are you just slamming? You got to slam.
No, I think we're sticking back with that one. We only had Tua from
the. He's going against the Dolphins. Yeah. So.
That's not even that. If you have to even consider that, you should never play fantasy football again. I mean, you guys drafted Josh Allen. What?
That was your
4th round.
I think it was a little later than that, but yeah.
It was 5th. I passed on him for Dak, and they got him right after.
Yeah, if you start Josh Allen every single week forever and always,
especially when he's playing a 1 and 6 team,
even over Patrick Mahomes this year, I think so.
And Bills are on a revenge game, man. They had a bye, and then obviously coming off that loss, so they're probably hungry to.
Yeah, they're gonna let up the scoreboard. What I'm kind of hoping is it's kind of like a blowout, and then the Dolphins get the ball garbage time, and they just start dumping it off to Gaskin.
100%.
They start dumping it off because, I mean, Tua threw it to him a bunch. He had like 4 or 5 catches, so we'll see. Yeah, like you said, no Malcolm Brown.
Honestly, I don't know
Patriots.
I don't know what the deal is with Tua. I wonder if Tua is going to be on his way out with the whole Watson.
Oh yeah.
Fiasco.
So what they said is the Dolphins want a little more clarity before they make a decision. I'm not sure how much clarity you can get when it's this big of a legal issue, but I personally don't think anything is going to happen now. I think it'll just be settled. We can just all move on for now. But yeah, it is up in the air, I guess. Yeah.
I actually, when I was looking at the Carolina game as we were going over it, I actually saw that also Carolina too. And thoughts.
Yeah, how do you just move on from Tua like that, though? I think it's a little too.
Yeah, Tua's been playing pretty well, so but we'll still see.
Yeah, last week kind of saved him, I think.
I mean, he just had that stupid decision, like the jump throw bullshit. I mean, other than that, he played good. I don't know, he'll be fine. Patriots and Chargers. I think Mac Jones is actually not. I want to say he's the best rookie quarterback, but I think he's in the best situation, and he probably has the best future. I think we knew that with the draft, though. Just going.
Yeah, I think he's looked the best. Maybe not overall talent wise, and
yeah.
But just right now, I think he's probably been playing the safest. Like he hasn't done anything crazy, but I don't think he's made any like detrimental mistakes like the other ones have.
Those were to put the ball, man.
I mean, yeah, he dueled with Brady. He dueled with Prescott. The Patriots don't get blown out. If you look at all their scores, even the games they lost, like he has them in every game. He's in a good system. Fantasy wise, though, Patriots offense has always been a stay away in fantasy, aside from when you had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But like
especially
even
the running back core.
Yeah, the running back core is tough.
Damian Harris.
I think Damian Harris is obviously the guy. Other than that, I don't really know. Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, these are kind of guys that you just throw in on a bye week or something.
Yeah.
Other than that, I normally
John
stay away
Smith, same thing. So it's the best. So,
I stay away from Patriots offense and fantasy. It's kind of just unpredictable. It always has been for the past probably decade.
More than ever. That's for
yeah.
Sure. However, Bolden looks like the new James White for whatever that's worth. So if you want 10 points, it'll be
yeah, I know. Don plugged him in. That was a good plug and play by him. Ended up catching a touchdown pass.
So I guess for that whole team, you play Bolden and Harris with caution, and that's about it. You don't even.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to have some serious injuries to start Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, the Patriots literally are a bye week offense in fantasy football, I guess. But Chargers, they obviously have a lot of firepower. Eckler's playing, I assume. Yeah, he should be good to go. Right?
Eckler's a start. Herbert's a start. And Mike Williams is a start. Mike Williams is the wide receiver 1, by the way. Keenan Allen's the wide receiver 2 there.
Jared Cook always has the upside, so you probably slam him.
I still think you start anyone in that. I still think you start anyone in that offense, though.
I agree. It's like the opposite of the Patriots right now. So
yeah, I mean, Herbert throws the ball almost as much as Josh Allen. Even when he throws, like even Eckler, they don't really run it with him between the tackles. They throw it to him a lot.
I think the Chargers can blow them out. Although Patriots find a way to keep things.
No, the Patriots keep everything close, man.
I know this might be the game. I don't know. Chargers seem hungry to me too.
Chargers just got smoked by the Ravens.
I know Chargers Bills are still both 4-2, but I think they're both very good teams that are going to blow up this season.
Yeah, Chargers are awesome.
Touching the Jaguar game, Bucks and Saints. We got obviously the Bucks are pretty simple. You're starting Brady. You're starting
the whole offense.
Start the whole offense. Obviously not Rojo, but he's not a starter anyway. So
no.
The tight ends obviously till Gronk gets back. I wouldn't fuck with, but Saints. That's a weird one.
You start Alvin Kamara, and that's really about it until Michael Thomas gets back. I'll probably be starting him, but
literally that's it.
Cowboys maybe okay. I don't know.
No, that's it all goes through Kamara. Washington football team and the Broncos. Heineke not a start. Gibson obviously if he's playing he's a start. You're just getting he's banged up and McKissick's starting to eat it, but it looks like he's getting more of the targets now. So maybe it's trending towards him getting healthier. And then you have McLaurin. Is he playing? What happened to McLaurin?
No, he's always questionable. He's playing.
Yeah, he's him and Gibson are just kind of.
He's one of those guys that's always questionable, but he's been unbelievable this season. He's been unbelievable. I'm so happy.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable, man. Yeah, so obviously we know that's a start. No one else in that receiving core to me is a start.
Ricky Seals-Jones, tight end pickup.
Yeah. So Ricky Seals and Logan Thomas. I mean, are they both still on that team?
Well, he picked up Seals-Jones because Thomas is hurt.
Yeah.
But I thought Logan's coming back this week. I was hearing that Logan's coming back.
Still on IR, I believe.
Yeah, I think he's still on IR.
All right. So either way, either of them, whoever's starting is definitely a start this week. I think against the Broncos, that's a great start. Broncos, You have you're not starting Bridgewater. Obviously, the two running backs you could start, but they're just hurting each other every week. Sutton is a start for me.
Yeah.
And then obviously Tim Patrick is a potential consideration. And Jerry Jeudy, if he's officially back, obviously I would put him over those two. So that's where I'm at with the Broncos. Fant, obviously you can start if you don't have anything better at that position. It's gonna be a boring match, huh? Broncos and Redskins. That's it for the evening games, and then you have the Sunday night game, which is the Cowboys and the Vikings. I actually think this is gonna be a good game.
Should be.
I mean, sure the Cowboys can blow them out, but I think this might be a fantasy relevant game. I think the Vikings will. I think it'll be a shootout in a way. You know, I really think it has the makings for one. I really hope Cook can get going. He's obviously an obvious start. Kirk Cousins has become a start. I think Cass is actually got lucky with that one. I think that might be his bell cow now, a quarterback. So he's probably going to start him.
Justin Jefferson,
yeah. And then Osborne, you can consider. I don't think he's a slam start, but
Dalvin Cook's a start.
Yeah, is Thielen playing? Obviously, Thielen's a start if he's playing.
Yeah, Thielen's a start.
All right, then he's playing. Then I would less consider Osborne. Yeah, and then the Cowboys, you start the whole offense, minus maybe Cedric Wilson, who could probably be a streamer if you really needed like 10 points. There's not much to say about the Cowboys offense. They're, probably the best fantasy offense with a few of those teams. Then our final matchup is the Giants and Chiefs. This one probably a blowout.
You start the Chiefs, especially
just start the Chiefs. Yeah.
Start the Chiefs, especially Joe.
Yeah. What about on the Giants side? Because obviously more interesting. If Saquon's like gonna start, you obviously play him, so you do have to force him to line up.
Booker's been hit or miss.
Yeah,
Booker, he has been terrible, but yeah, Booker's been okay. I think if Tony plays,
Shepard, you definitely start. Honestly,
I think you play Tony. I think if he plays, Tony looked really good.
Yeah, if Tony plays, yeah. If not, do you play Pettis? Obviously, you don't play him if Tony starts, but Dante Pettis has been showing up.
Yeah.
He was like a 1 week thing because everybody was hurt though.
Yeah, I know. So if everyone comes back, it's just you slam Tony and Shepard, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're starting too many Giants players, your fantasy team ain't that good.
Dom might have something to say about that.
Yeah, he didn't even start any this week. He started 2 tight ends instead of a Giants.
I know he's been doing good without him. Finally, I think he's catching on. And then, like I said, Ravens and Raiders are on a bye. Yeah. So that's basically every matchup. It's our start and sits. You can take it for what it is and make your own decisions. Any other major news? We pretty much touched all the injuries. Anything you guys want to cover? Nick?
I'm just looking to see any big pickups or anything. I don't think there's anything I saw this week in our league.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting week. It's kind of fun to see like the bye weeks coming around, kind of how people manage. The people that got like the deep benches usually are the ones that prevail, and the people that are.
Yep.
This is where those guys that you drafted in 10th, 11th, 12th round helps you. And
Nick, since we have you, they hear from me and Dill like all the time. So, Can you run through like real quick? Just say who's going to win each match. Your matchup. We'll start with the matchup of the week. You can run through who's going to win each match this week, and tell us who you think the loser punishment is going to be. Like who's going to be in that match and who's going to be in the finals. If you want to say who wins and loses each one, that's fine. But
yeah, so I think first matchup of the week, I would say. Honestly, I think it might be you and Joey. And the reason I say that is, I think you kind of like you said, you're in shooting distance, you're obviously right there. I think also Joey has, after kind of suffering his first loss, it's time for him to show if he can bounce back from a rough week. So I think that would be an interesting one to watch for sure. I'm also kind of somewhat interested, like I said before, kind of the dark horse to see how Luke proceeds though. But, that's just going to be a watch to see if Luke can have another strong week and kind of get himself on a roll.
Luke and Chris, I think those are two. Like, if one of those two were going to make it out, I think those are probably the two best ones.
Yeah,
they need this win. So,
like of the bottom feeders right now, I think those are.
It's almost like a playoff game for them.
Those are kind of like the two with the most upside. So yeah, if Luke wants any chance to make a run, he's got to win. And if Chris wins, he could be right up there.
Yeah. And what was the other
Luke
question you
beats
asked?
Chris this week, man.
So
Just go through each match. Who do you think you're going to win each match? Just go down the line.
So I think that we have. I guess I'll start from bottom up because we are our game at the bottom. So obviously we have a big matchup against Don. He's been putting up
That's a good one, man.
big points. Yeah. So I mean, I think we just have to make sure our team stays healthy. If Chubb's kind of scratch again, I mean, that obviously hurt us. Waka hasn't been playing great. Odell's hasn't been playing great. So I mean, we need to hit on all cylinders and can't really slack, or else I think that one's going to be a long shot for us to win. So it really depends on how our players show up. But I'm gonna try to be optimistic and see that we can have a week like we had week 7 and squeak out that one and have a strong performance. I think Junior just has a really strong team. And obviously, like we said, Cass has been kind of trending downwards to some degree, so I have to give that to Junior. This next matchup, I think it's a tough one. Obviously, yeah, obviously, I know Tooch and Danny are struggling with kind of the Christian McCaffrey and some other injuries, as well as also Dill. I know you have some injuries, or not injuries.
No Adams.
Yeah, with that,
I think with Adams, I'd lean toward Dill 100%. But now it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think I might still have to go.
Pull it up for you to look at it.
I think you got the firepower still to kind of hold on and squeak out the win there.
I think this is going to be close.
Week, not that bad.
It'll be close, yeah.
I think this is going to be close.
You need your running backs to step up this week. I think that's your key.
Yeah.
Honestly. We know what you're getting out of the even the two-headed horse.
Yeah, I'm not I think Terry McLaurin and Calvin Ridley are going to do their thing. I think Stafford's going to do his thing.
One of those running backs got to show up. And Gaskin needs to not be an asshole, obviously. So
if I could just get Mixon to light up the fucking Jets, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, what a bad week not that Adams, man. That's so unlucky. I think you would have this one in the bag, but it's going to be a matchup. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I made the trades for these.
Don't sleep on this matchup, guys.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 teams, looking for that 6th spot right
now. Otherwise, I think that, obviously, like we said, I think Chris and Luke is going to be a big matchup. I don't know. I think that Luke has yet to kind of prove himself that he can stay consistent. So I guess I think I have to side with Chris. And also, like we said, Chris's points for has been just off the charts. So I think I'm gonna go with Chris on that one. So then we have Sal and Luke. I think this could be potentially another good matchup, but I think Luke is
back match.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, the projection right now obviously is favoring Sal.
I'll pull it up so we can see it.
Yeah, but Luke has been, I don't know, he's been on a tear. So
this one's gonna be close too, man. There's 4 good games this week.
Yeah, I think I might give Sal the edge on that one for a bounce back game, and also having Eckler back. Maybe projects him.
He's probably the X factor. How does he perform? Obviously, when he has a bad week or he's not there, Sal's been struggling. Obviously, Hunt's still out, so that's a problem. Harris has been good though. I think Cooper and Eckler are his X factors.
Yeah, they play well.
And Diggs is the 3. I think Diggs will get in the end zone this week, though. Dude, Diggs is projected. Oh, I thought he was projected 6 points. I was going to say. No, that's going to be a good matchup, too. I'm telling you, there's 4 very strong matchups. So, and then did you pick a winner between me and Joey?
I think it's a game of the week. I don't know if I said who.
Look at Joey's projection, guys. This is ridiculous. This guy's projected 160 points almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you have a good chance. I think it's probably going to be a close game, but I don't know. Joey just always finds a way to win these games. I don't know. I mean,
he's got 20. He's projected 20 in his tight end spot.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to have 2 bad consecutive weeks. That's the thing. I really think that they're going to bounce back and have a normal week.
Joey has to be the favorite each week until the Chiefs aren't playing. He has to be the favorite in any matchup.
The bye week,
maybe he only is playing Junior.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to give Joey the favorite for this game.
Yeah.
Plus, I like being the underdog, and even though he's the dog, I'll be the underdog.
Yeah. And then,
so I guess me and Joey are like an automatic rivalry now. I mean, two back-to-back finals. So it's a revenge game for me.
Yeah.
I'd love to take him out after Dill beat him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good week. I do want to apologize for last week. Obviously, we all just didn't work out, and then this week we were only able to get Nick, but Nick, you've never been on, so we're glad to have you. And we'll keep trying to change up the podcast and do different things and get everyone else on, get everyone, mix it up. So, Bill, do you have anything before we break out here?
Oh, yeah, apologies on my behalf as well. Just timing wise, and sometimes life gets in the way and we couldn't get it done. But brought you a good one this week. I think this was fun.
That was an extended one.
Yeah, it was extended, changed it up a little bit. It was good to have Nick on. I mean, we haven't heard from him too much considering it's his first year. I don't think Nick's been active in the chat with trades and stuff though. So if you need to, if you're looking for Montgomery or anyone like that, hit him up. And then for those bottom feeding teams, like I said, always say, don't give up, please. Season's not even halfway over yet. It's a longer season than ever this year, 17 weeks. So, definitely time to turn.
It's competitive, man.
Definitely time to turn the season around. I think like the good thing about our league is like no one's really like a clear cut best team. I mean, obviously Junior's number one, but like Joey was number one, and I was 2 and 4, and I just beat him.
I've been all over. I've been from 1 to 11.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, look at Luca Gori's in 12th place, but he has more points for than half the other kids that are way ahead of him. So I mean, it's really anybody's. League to be taken at this point. And I just want to keep seeing more matchups competitive. That 180 to 80 was pretty lame. You could see it there, the biggest win ever versus Cass. That's unreal. So hopefully we see less of that. But yeah, man, it's been fun. It was a pleasure having Nick on, and hope everybody has a good week.
Yeah,
but not better than me.
Well, the good news though is the apocalypse is over, so it's going to be a good week of fantasy football in general. So a lot of good matchups, a lot of good games, and hope to see you guys out there. I'm going to try and catch some of these games this week for once. You guys want to hit me up? Nick, I'm probably going to hit you guys up for a shop in D Montgomery if you guys want.
Yeah. I was actually just texting Big right now.
I love him.
So.
I mean, I do have 3 running backs, but I mean, it could be something later on I can stash maybe.
Yeah.
You guys need, you're looking at receivers, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, receivers. Just because, obviously.
Flex options, right?
Yeah, Lockett hasn't, Gino and Odell has been tanking, so.
Yeah, in general, let's start seeing some more trades. The trade deadline is coming. Till you know the date? I know it's actually coming very soon, I believe.
I think it's like 2 more weeks.
Probably a couple of weeks. Yeah, so we need to consider that, and it's enjoyable to see some trades. So if you're going to do the trades, get on those now before that time's going to run out fast. It's 2 weeks roughly. So I'm going to start shipping or shopping around myself. So might send both of you guys some offers this week or next week.
Yeah,
at least.
Now's the time, to even think, if you're in a contention where you may get a playoff run, stash someone to hit big later on in the season at that point too.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys for powering through. I know it's late, and we'll get this thing out there and enjoy our Thursday night football in week 8.
Boys,
thank you guys for coming.
Good luck, everybody. We'll see some Cardinals Packers tomorrow night. Have a good one, guys.